What's up, gamers? Welcome to episode 10 of the Busted Buttons podcast. This is Red, joined as always by Red. And on this episode,
Red, always joined by Red. That's a good introduction right there. I'm Hick. I'm also on the podcast with him.
Yeah, hey, you know, I feel like I carry it every week, so I might as well just say it's
we got Red,
so.
We got his alter ego, Red, and then we also got Hick, but go ahead.
But anyway, in this episode, we're going to talk about the PlayStation 5 controller reveal that came out here recently. Then we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about exclusives. Just in general, Sony versus Microsoft versus Nintendo, Battle Royale style. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the rumors about the Super Mario series remasters that may or may not be coming to the Switch.
They're coming.
Fingers crossed. But lining up with the 35th anniversary of that series, Hick is going to give us a quick update on his PC gaming experiences.
Yes, sir.
And now that he's a few weeks into it, and actually sticking with Hick a little bit, we're going to talk about when he plays games the wrong way, and he learns from that. So start us off. What do you think about the design of the new PlayStation 5 DuelSense controller?
Well, first of all, I think the one that most people are seeing is the black and white one, which is mostly white. I've also seen a black one. Now, I've actually not looked into this story at all. I've just kind of seen pictures on the internet, so I know the white one's real. But I don't know if the black one, the black controller, like I said, I found a photo, but people can doctor that stuff in Photoshop and stuff. So I've not really looked into it. I'm thinking they're going to have a black controller because I think me and you agree, we both hate the white controller a lot.
Yes.
Because mostly all our consoles are black, all our controllers are black, TVs are black. Just basically my whole electronic setup is black. So like when you have something that's white, it kind of stands out. And PlayStation, like their consoles and their controllers have always been black. So I don't like the white part. I think they are going to make a black counterpart. So, you know, that'll be cool. Overall, it looks pretty much the same. It's a little bit different. The shape is a little bit different. The buttons are exactly the same for the most part, which you would have guessed that was going to happen. Joysticks, same place. The directional buttons, they're the same, but they look a little bit different on the design. I think the only main difference is the share button is now the create button, which I honestly think that's going to be almost the exact same thing. They're just rewording it. And from the controller I saw, it was just like an icon. It wasn't even words above it. It was just like little symbols. So I think those are going to pretty much serve the same purpose. So overall, I mean, yeah, I like it because I got that big ass button. It has that big ass button right there in the middle.
I knew you'd love that. I knew you'd love that.
I've not looked into it. I'm not sure if that's actually touchscreen, but it doesn't really matter because games really didn't use the touchscreen on the PS4 one. So overall, got my big ass button. I'm a fan of it. A little bit different shape, but very similar, which is what we want the PlayStation 5 controller. It's worked forever. I like it. Maybe it's not the best one, but I like it. So overall, I'm satisfied. Just give me an all black controller.
I'm 100% with you there. My entire entertainment system, everything in it is black. And yes, I know back in like the Xbox 360 was white, and the initial controllers for that were white before they did the updated models.
Yep.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the Wii being white. You know, it's just or worse, go back to the purple GameCube.
You know what, like the crazy thing is, I got both the black models. Well, originally I did have the Xbox 360, and then like everybody in this world, I got the Red Ring of Death. And so I did get one of those new ones that was black, but when I got the Wii, it was later in the cycle, and by that time, they also had a black one. So I actually didn't have that problem, but go ahead and kind of continue on.
I will say, obviously, there's a market for the more colored, like something that stands out more, because you look at the Joy-Cons on the Switch, and part of it right now is demand, of course, because you take what you can get right now. But I've heard a lot of people on Twitter, on our Discord channel, which you should totally go check out, by the way. But like they love the red and blue or the neon green and yellow, like the controllers. Yep. And for me, you know, if I like,
but that's different. But that's different from the color white. Like it's a totally different concept. Like white stands out, but if you're getting colors like that, like you're trying to be different with what your game system is, or it's all they had available.
For sure. But I am with you. I am really hoping that the pictures we've seen out there of the controller with like black on black, like that's or even black and dark gray. I mean, whatever, close enough. I would absolutely love that. The white to me, it stands out too much. And I get, yes, you want to make a statement. You want to stand out. You want someone to walk in and see a controller sitting there and be like, oh, what's that? Not for me. I want everything to blend in a little bit. So,
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I like the fact they brought back the the big button in the center, which it seems like every game, not every game, but a lot of games I've played just basically use it to bring up your map, which I totally support.
The whole, I think it's like the whole hub system. Like your map, depending on what game you're playing, your map, your quest, your inventory. I guess we're playing an open world game in this example, but but I love it for that purpose because they're small buttons, and as you get older, they're a little bit harder to hit. So I just like having that big ass button that is easy to hit, and I actually love that it brings up all those hub elements.
Oh, I'm with you there. And then you mentioned the share button turning into the create button. And Sony, like in their blog post revealing this controller, they said, oh, more details are going to come later. I'm really curious to see what they do with that, because the share button, you and I have both said on this podcast multiple times, whether it's on PlayStation, Switch, or even the cumbersome way you kind of have to do it on the Xbox One, being able to share your stuff to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, just right from your controller in real time is so awesome, and it was such an innovation for gaming, especially in this era of like Twitch streaming, YouTube, people, content creators. Having a share button right there is so huge. So I am excited to see where they go with this, quote unquote create button.
Yeah.
If they're actually going to add something to it, or if it's just going to be like, oh no, it's the same thing. We felt like we had to make it sound better.
Now, one thing that I did notice is the buttons are spaced a little bit more from the big ass button. I guess that's the name I'm using for that button. But one thing that I hate,
it's a good name
with the I don't know what is the PS4 controller actually called?
The DualShock 4.
Oh. Okay. Oh, similar. Okay, I got you. I was looking at a note. I was like, wait, that's what the new one is. No. So is the new one the DualShock 5 then?
No, they're calling it the DualSense. They actually renamed it because every PlayStation controller to date has been DualShock 1, DualShock 2, DualShock 3, DualShock 4. Yeah. I don't know why you changed the name. I kind of get it, but anyway. DualShock 4
it's like Halo
4.
Infinite. Why can't you just call it Halo 6? Why do you gotta make everything so complicated? Because you say Halo Infinite, and then people are like, well, is it actually the sixth installment? Or is it a spin-off, or blah, blah, blah? You cause all kinds of issues. Just stick to the core mechanics and stick to what works.
Hey, KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Come on.
Like at the Xbox and then the 360, but then you go back to the Xbox One. Well, that couldn't be the Xbox One because there's already been the first installment. Like, Xbox, keep it simple.
Now
PS1,
we got a Series X.
2, 3. Oh my, that's the worst name. And I was upset about it beforehand. Now I'm even more upset about it because that name is absolute garbage. Like Phil Spencer, I'm not saying that you came up with that name, but whoever came up with that name, the team probably should just fire them. Just not right now because times are rough. But after everybody gets back on their feet, just go and fire those people because the Series X, get the hell out of here with that name, man. Like,
you're on me going on the tirades this week.
Like,
I like it.
I'm ready, man. I'm amped up. I'm amped. All this working, all this staying at home, working. Well, actually, I do enjoy working from home because there's not as many distractions and I can get more done. But you are home a lot.
Yeah, that's
so
the real reason you like working from home.
You got to kind of, man, I live in a house with all kids. And my wife's here too. But my kids, they lose their shit all the time. And I'm here. I'm supposed to be the mature one. Sometimes I want to let loose. I can't do it really around them. So this is my podcast. I'm letting loose today, apparently. I didn't even know I was going to do that. Fuck you, Series X, your terrible name. Now let's get back to the PlayStation 5 controller.
I don't even know where to go from that, but I will say, I got to take a drink after that. I feel worked up after that. But I will say, like, the name change, obviously that set us off on a whole tangent, but I get that what they're kind of going for with it. Like, they're calling it the DualSense, and a couple of the features that they're really pushing in the new PlayStation 5 controller are this haptic feedback and adaptive controllers. Adaptive triggers. Now, I'm no expert on terminology of that stuff. I did a little quick Googling before we jumped on here. Like, haptic feedback, the whole point is just giving the player feedback through touch, which we've been doing since, the Rumble Pack in the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
So
is it basically a vibration then? Is that what you're saying?
It's supposed to be. It's like you're supposed to be able to feel. And the examples that the I can't remember his name, but the Sony guy used in his post announcing the new controller, he said, when you're driving through like a muddy road, you want to be able to feel like the pull and the vibration and the slog of like driving through that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he mentions the adaptive triggers, and he's like, you want to feel like tension when you're pulling back a bowstring. So to me, it's like a beefed up version of the vibration we already have. And I like the idea in concept. Like, it sounds great. Like, the better the feedback, it makes it feel a little more immersive. I'm totally on board with that. I'm just concerned that it's going to go the way, like, one of the features that the Joy-Cons tout is this HD rumble, they called it, on the Switch. And it seems like no one ever took advantage of it. And so I'm worried that, like, this haptic feedback, these adaptive triggers, it's great technology. And I'm sure that, like, Sony's first party people will put out some good features for it, like Nintendo used to do with, like, Nintendo Land and Wii games, to show off their technology. I feel like Sony will do something similar, but I feel like no one's used the HD rumble other than Nintendo. And even Nintendo's barely used it. And so I'm curious to see if this whole haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, it makes sense. It sounds cool. I like the idea, and I get changing the name. Like they said, they call it a sense now. It's not just, it's, you're feeling it. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. That's all I can say.
Well, now the name does make more sense, but that's something right there with the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. Like, if you get just a little bit wrong, that can completely ruin the experience. Now, here's the thing. If you get it right, it can make the experience that much better. So that's a very tight line. I hope it works out. I think they will test it enough to where it will work out. You know what?
At least first-party games.
Yeah, DualSense, I'm kind of, I'm okay with that name now. Actually, no, just DualSense 5 or DualShock 5. Like, that's just give me something simple, but I understand the DualSense. Then it also has a headphone jack, which Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I'm looking at you because that you got it. Okay, it's 2020. You got to have a headphone. Actually, these damn controllers need to be able to hook up, or the consoles or the controller. It'd probably be the consoles, need to be able to hook up to Bluetooth headphones, because I have 2 sets of Bluetooth. I don't do cords anymore, but I guess we're not there yet. Hopefully we're there with the, do you know anything actually about the DualSense? Does it do Bluetooth headphones?
I don't know if it does or not. All I know is, like, they've said that yes, it's got the what is it, 3.35 millimeter headphone jack. I've not heard anything on the Bluetooth, but I feel like their connectivity just to the console alone is a form of Bluetooth. If I'm not mistaken, I could be dead wrong on that. Again, I'm not a hardware guy.
Well, also, if you have like a newer TV, your newer TVs have Bluetooth where you can play the sound through AirPods. So there's different ways of doing it. But anyways, it's got the headphone jack. The Nintendo Switch Pro controller doesn't. Big screw up right there.
That is
now I couldn't play when my kids are asleep. So thanks a lot, Nintendo. And then I think it's got
lost a sale.
Yeah, I think it's got a built-in microphone and also a speaker. I also hate that speaker for kids. I'll be sitting there, I'll turn down, or actually I'll use my headphones, to keep the sound down. And then a game like, I think it was Death Stranding, like when BB makes noise, it comes out of the controller, you can turn it off. But that was so annoying because I'll be there, turn off the sound, play while my kids are going down, and then stupid ass BB would scream or like make a noise, and it'll come up through the controller and like wake my kids up. So I'm not huge on the the controller speaker.
Just get a headset, people.
I kind of understand like the reason of it is like to add a different element. Like, okay, you get this sound that's usually coming out of TV. We're gonna put a different like character or different type of sound that comes out of the controller. I don't care either way. I don't really like it. I don't need it. I got my speakers coming out of my headphones or my TV. That's good enough for me. But anyways, that's enough about the DualSense. Red, if you had any more you wanted to say, do it on Twitter or Facebook or somewhere else. And we're going to move on. In the last episode, we talked a lot about God of War, a PlayStation exclusive. And in this podcast, we talked about exclusives a little bit, like in past episodes. But in this one, we kind of want to delve deeper into it and kind of just talk about that whole game and going forward. So, Red, how do you kind of feel about the whole exclusive market? How do you see it going forward? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Who has the best exclusives? And go.
Well, first and foremost, every console generation, the whole conversation of should there be exclusives comes up every single time. I fucking love console exclusive. Like, don't get me wrong. Would it be great to be able to play Halo Infinite, God of War, and Breath of the Wild 2 all on the same console? Yes, but at that point, what's the point of multiple consoles? Like, to me, like it's just like wrestling back in the late 90s. Competition breeds innovation. WWE, NWO, WCW, like it made it fun. And to me, like console gaming is the same way. Like every console needs to have its own games to really push that envelope, because if you could play every single game on the same console, then why would there be a Switch and an Xbox and a PlayStation? There'd be no point. And like, I love, like, you could say winners or losers of every console generation. I love what every console has done this generation. Nintendo going full like convertible style. You got portable, or you can plug it into your TV. Microsoft is rolling out the Game Pass. They're trying this xCloud. Like, they're trying whatever they can. And then Sony's just like leaning hardcore into their exclusives. So to me, by keeping console exclusives around, I think it breeds innovation. It really breeds innovation in the gaming market. So I am all for exclusives in gaming. Now, the flip side of that is it does kind of suck when one system you buy, its exclusives lag a little bit behind the rest of them. And I think we both know what console I'm talking about this generation. Your turn to go.
Yeah, it's the Xbox Series X. You know, first of all, their name is terrible, like I already said. But yeah, the whole exclusives. I mean, you got Halo, you got Forza. I'm sure there's a little bit more, but they're not.
Gears of War is another big one.
Oh, Gears of War, but they're not. After that, it's really not enough for me to care about. And here's what makes me upset. It's like, I agree with you. Everything you said about exclusives, completely agree with. Like, these consoles, they need to be different, because if they're not different, you don't need to have every single one. And I like my toys. When I get a new console, like, it brings me excitement. It brings me joy. And I need that more than once every 7 years. So, like, give me my toys. Like, make it a little bit different. But, yeah, the Xbox, man, I mean, and going forward, they've kind of said, hey, we want to focus on, like, you know, making the third-party games, you know, be great. Like, and that's how we're going to sell the systems. Yeah. Okay, that's great. And, okay, I'm probably... I just, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that's enough to make me buy the system. And that's what I think I'm trying to say is, I buy systems really based on their exclusives, and then my third party, I will usually stick to one system. Now, well, here's the thing. I usually stick to my PS4 because I have the PS4 Pro. It's 4K, and even if a game is not 4K, it still upconverts a little bit. So all my third party stuff is on the PS4. But if I did have like the same specs or very similar specs, I might switch back and forth to play on each different system. But you know, I might. But I'm not sure if I would. I think I might stick with the same system for my third-party games. So if you want to get me, you got to have those exclusives. Now, Xbox, good job with Forza and Halo. Those two damn exclusives will make me buy the fucking system. So you got me right there. But yeah, you know, okay, your exclusive game, it's lacking. Everybody knows it's lacking. Nintendo first-party games, they've been doing it since the 80s. PlayStation, and I think this is what surprised us, is when we both got our PS4, because we both skipped the PS3 generation. Yes, we were actually shocked by, I've been shocked, I think you have been too, by how much we enjoy this system and how much we enjoy all the exclusives that are on the system. So Xbox Series X, you got to step your game up. You got to do better.
They really do. And it's just, it blows my mind that like when the Xbox 360 generation, you know, they had your Halos, your Gears, your Forza, like it seemed like they were on the cusp of really taking over. And of course, yeah, I get it. It came out sooner than the PlayStation. And then Sony kind of fucked themselves when they made the PlayStation 3 $100 more expensive even a year later. So I get that, but it's unfortunate that now, what are we, 8, 9, 10 years after the original Xbox 360, and we're still talking about the same three franchises? We're still talking about Halo, Forza, and Gears of War. Sony gave us God of War, Horizon, Uncharted, The Last of Us. The new Spider-Man game came out of fucking nowhere and was amazing. I mean, just... And then Nintendo, of course. You've got your historic franchises. You've got your Mario, your Zelda, your Donkey Kong, you know, all of those. So it's like, I get, like, Microsoft bought up a bunch of studios lately, or a couple years ago. I think they announced like 6 or 7 studios they bought. And those have to pay dividends. Those have to pay dividends. Because I'm with you. If one system has better exclusives, I don't care what the specs really are. I'm probably going to get that and then buy my third parties on that console as well.
I mean, it's a very good point, because we're going to buy our next system, the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. Me and you, I think you're going to do this. I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my purchasing decision on the exclusives.
Yep.
And then what's going to happen
at launch day, especially at launch day.
Yeah. And then I'm probably going to have, I don't see myself buying the two systems very close together. It might only be like 6 months, but still, like, so whichever system I get, for those exclusives, I'm going to also play my third-party games on first, and then once I probably get going in that cycle, I might play some on the other system, but I'm more likely to keep on playing on the same system. So it's not only the exclusives and my money that you're getting, you're also, well, I don't know how much PlayStation. I'm sure they get some by selling games, third-party games on their system. I don't know exactly what the ratios are, but you're also going to get me to play your third-party games on your systems because of the exclusives that you have. And so, Microsoft bought up all these studios, but from everything we've read so far, now Microsoft could surprise us and just drop a bunch of exclusives out of nowhere. But from everything we've read, you're focused on third party and you're really not capitalizing on all those studios that you bought up. We thought that you were going to start making all these exclusive franchises, and there's no indication that you are doing that.
Hey, well, here's hoping that it happens. Obviously it takes time to develop these games. Here's hoping that we see it, as this next generation kicks off. We'll see what exclusives we get. Like you said, that will drive our launch day purchase for sure. Give us launch day give us launch day games. Give us exclusive games at launch day. That's who's going to get my money day one.
Okay. Usually you kind of talk forever, and I didn't know what you were going to do right there. I didn't know if you were going to keep on talking. You didn't really talk that long. You threw it back to me, and I don't really have anything else to say about the exclusives. Let's go ahead and let's move on and talk about. Okay, it kind of is an exclusive that we're actually going to talk about, and that's the Mario Remasters. This is actually something that we wanted to talk about last week, but God of War it's an awesome game. It took all our time, and that's okay. You can take our time, God of War, but recently there's been a rumor out that, the games are Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Sunshine. Did those a little bit out of order, but I've been hearing, the rumor is that those are going to get remade on the Switch, and I am ecstatic about this. Love Super Mario 64. Super Mario Galaxy was my favorite game until Odyssey came out, and I've never played Super Mario Sunshine. So I think from everything that I've heard, the people that are saying this are very reputable, and so I think it is going to happen. And boy, I'm excited. Red, how about you?
Well, first of all, yes, I'm very excited. I do have to correct you just a little bit. When the rumor came out, it was a British gaming company. I forget, or
Eurogamer, wasn't it?
I forget the name of it, but they did come out.
So you're going to correct me, and then you're not going to know the name of the company.
Well, I was going to correct you by saying they said most historical Mario games were going to be coming out. I'm not sure where the rumors of 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy came from, but the initial report said most Mario games would be being remastered, which, there's a ton of them.
But how are you going to remaster the original Mario game? And Mario 3. I mean, I guess you could kind of make it more HD, the 2D Mario games. You could kind of make it more that. You know what? Okay, I'd be okay with that. I just talk myself into it.
No, but I'm with you. There's only so much you can do with some of the NES ones. But it is funny, though, because the three you mentioned, and that have definitely been kicked around a little bit in the rumors, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, are the three that I would most like to see. Super Mario 64 is still to this day probably my favorite 3D Mario game. It's up there with Odyssey. That for very different reasons. Odyssey controls better than any video game I've ever played, so I will always love that. 64's level design I thought was the best of any Mario game I've ever played. So if you could remaster 64 and modernize it, I'm all for it. I never played Sunshine either. I'm with you on that boat. We haven't played that. That was a GameCube game, if I'm not mistaken.
You had the GameCube. I didn't play because I never had a GameCube. You had one and still didn't play it.
I just got drunk and played Mario Kart all the time.
Well, that's understandable. That is definitely understandable.
So I'd be excited to check that out. And then Galaxy, and I know this is obviously this is a contentious point among Mario fans. I loved Galaxy 1 way more than Galaxy 2. So for me, Galaxy 1 remastered, you get that hub world with Rosalina. that you lose in Galaxy 2. And
Yep.
it's just, I thought Galaxy 1 was the superior game. So those three, it is funny that those are the ones that are kind of getting mentioned. Hopefully it's not just people wishing like me, but those are the three I would absolutely love to see the most.
First of all, like those three like started by me tweeting it out and talking about it. So that's where it started. Well, I didn't start that, but that's where it started with
You
us.
started the rumor.
But like kind of go back to Galaxy 2. I think okay, I'm with you. Galaxy 1 is unbelievable, one of my favorite Mario games, like I said. But I think people like Galaxy 2 because of the level design. And Yoshi. You can put Yoshi in there, but I think the addition of Yoshi and the level design is why some people liked it more. But when you take away that hub and that like they use like a track or a world track concept,
They
you know,
do.
that's like, I mean, okay, a good throwback, but I mean, just give me like just do the hub again. The hub worked.
Yep.
Yeah, I did not hear it was for all games, so that's a little shocking to me. I honestly think that's a little bit too much. Like,
Right.
I mean, okay, first of all, you got to bundle this, right?
I would hope. Yeah,
Like
I'm not paying $60 for every one of them.
Oh, I would. I
Okay,
would.
I'd pay $60 for Mario
I'm not
64.
gonna lie.
I'd
I
pay
would-
$60 for Mario 64 right now.
Yeah,
Done.
okay. For some of them, okay, I would pay $60 for 64 Galaxy, Galaxy 2, and Sunshine. I would pay $60 for each one of those. But
And
yeah, when you get up
Sunshine's a new
into
game to
the
us, so.
NES ones, like you gotta give me all three for $60.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo, I guess I would pay $60 for most of them. That's the kind of pimp that like Nintendo and Mario is. That I would be willing to do that. But
Yep.
I don't know where I was really going with that. Yeah, kind of got off topic of what I was thinking about. But there's also rumors not only like the kind of mainstay Mario games. There's also rumors of a new Paper Mario game. And I'll kind of let you talk about this, but it's a game that I never really got into, or a franchise. I believe there's been more than one. That's how
Yeah.
much I did not get into it, because I don't even know that. But kind of, you know, that'd be cool too, because it's all based around this 35th anniversary thing. So
Yep.
it'd be something that, like, you know, kind of like Animal Crossing, which I have quit playing already. But you know what? I gave it a shot. I go, you know what? I do not feel like. I woke up the fourth day of playing. I was like, I do not feel like picking weeds and paying off my debt. And I knew
Yeah.
at that time,
That's real life
Going a
at
little bit
that
off
point.
topic, but I knew at that time, like, I do this shit in my real life. So when I woke up in day 4, I was like, I don't want to do this crap. I knew that my Animal Crossing days were done. But you know what? I tried it, and this is why I'm kind of trying to relate it back to Paper Mario. Never had a chance to play it, but I would give it a chance if they did a remaster. How do you kind of feel about the whole franchise in the game?
Well, it's surprising. Super Mario RPG is my favorite game of all time. The Super Nintendo game back in the day is, to this day, still my favorite game of all time. They always talked about doing a sequel, do a sequel. They never did. What ended up coming out was, I think for eventually, it wasn't even the 64. I think it was the Wii finally dropped Paper Mario. And it was like a spiritual successor, they kind of call it. It's still like that RPG style, but they totally changed the art. They changed, you know, the characters get changed up. So it kept some of the spirit of Mario RPG, but took it in kind of a different direction. I tried it a little bit on the Wii. I guess part of me was still expecting, and part of this is probably on me more than anything, I was expecting Super Mario RPG 2. And that's not what it was. It was just, they tweaked it and twisted it just enough to be different and its own distinct thing, which by itself is not a bad thing. But I think just I went in expecting something totally different. I went in expecting, hey, give me more Super Mario RPG. I don't care if it's a 10-year-old game and we're finally getting a spiritual sequel or whatever the time gap was. I don't remember. And I think I went in with that tainted viewpoint and that perception of what I wanted it to be. And it wasn't. And it turned me off right off the bat. And that is not against Paper Mario. It's just more, it's my own expectations. And so I think that if a new Paper Mario comes out for the Switch, I'd give it a shot. I'm with you. I would be willing to plop down the money and give it a shot, because I honestly feel like I did not give the Paper Mario games a fair shake originally, because I went in expecting one thing. They were Nintendo went in a different direction, which of course it's their company. It's their property. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. So I think if a new Paper Mario came out, I would jump on it and I would give it a try as well. So, I'm excited for it. Like we said, all these any of these remakes. I know you can already get some of them on Nintendo Online, NES Online, SNES Online.
Well, you can't because you're too cheap. You're too cheap of an ass. You're a cheap ass. You're a cheap ass. I don't know why I can't put that phrase together. You're a cheap ass who can't pay $20 to have Nintendo Switch Online.
I've already got those on my Wii U. It's fine. So.
Yeah, it's a fucking block, man. Like, you're playing on a huge ass block that you can take 20 feet away from your console. You can't play your Wii U. Well, I don't know exactly how your apartment's set up. I've not been there yet. But can you play like Wii U in your bathroom or your bedroom?
I could probably get
exactly.
The
so get the goddamn pay
it.
for the Nintendo Online $20 and get it on the Switch, and you can take it anywhere. You can take it outside of the apartment. Like, this infuriates me, man. Like, as I've gotten older in life, I've kind of been more like, I gotta let people be them. You know, my wife probably will be like, oh, you don't do it with me all the time. But, with people I don't live with, like, I'm kind of like, you know what? They're adults. They can kind of do their own thing. This shit infuriates me, man, with you and the Nintendo Switch Online. Because I know how you spend your money at the bars. Well, not right now because the bars are closed. But,
I don't know. They're still doing carry out beer and food. So
yeah, like, you go out and you easily spend $20 at the bar. Be like, oh, no, that's Nintendo Switch Online. No, I don't have $20. I have on my block of a Wii U that I can take 20 feet for my console. I don't know what kind of voice that is, but it just.
Hey, a man's got to have principles. I'm done giving Nintendo money over and over again for the same fucking game I've already bought 5 times.
Yeah, but you would say and you would pay $60 easily for Mario 64 though.
Hey, remastered. That's the key word. Remastered.
Well, the damn Switch is remastered in a way because you can take it anywhere. You can play outside of your apartment. You know what? I gotta move on, dude, because you and the Nintendo Switch Online, like, I don't think I've ever told you how much it makes me mad. It just, thought about, it bugs me so much. I have thought about giving you $20 just so I can sleep at night I would just take
it to the bar and spend it on booze. Let's be honest.
I'd be so mad if you did for that reason, because I'd be like, that's what I'm always thinking. I'm always like, if he took $20, like, if he didn't go to the bar one night, he could get Nintendo Switch Online for a full year. So yeah, if I gave you the $20, you would take it to the bar, and oh my god, it would infuriate me. But anyways, I'm being a little bit negative right there, but we were talking about some positive news with the Mario releases. But how about we get into something a little more negative? And you know it's going to be, folks, if you've been listening, Google Stadia. Let's talk about it more, Red.
Oh my gosh. Stadia has been kind of our whipping boy basically since episode 1. And I hate to bag on anything gaming related, because most of gaming is a amazing thing. And anything that's trying to be innovative, I'm all for. We talked about that a little bit up there with the exclusives and the console wars. But Stadia, it was just fucking doomed from the start. And now the announcement here recently is that they've even got away from their for-pay model. Now, just for the baseline Google Stadia, it is now free for everyone with a Gmail account. And they can spin it and say it's because they're trying to, support people who are stuck at home during the coronavirus. I get that. That's a great publicity spin. But we've seen this story with enough online RPG games where at some point they start out with a nice subscription model. You pay your $10 a month, you play your RPG, and when people quit paying, what do? They go free to play. Yeah. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now with Google Stadia. I mean, yes, it's convenient. Well, there's nothing convenient about the coronavirus. That's kind of insensitive, but it's convenient timing for Stadia to say, okay, people aren't paying for our subscriptions. We fucked up the way we rolled out our pricing, our, all this stuff. So, free. The baseline is free for everyone with a Gmail account. But I think Google Stadia is kind of like our GameStop, where it's just circling the drain. I mean, it's the rollout was terrible. It was half-baked. It wasn't ready. And it going free to play now for everyone with a Gmail account is just one more nail in the coffin. And like I said, we've seen this with MMORPGs so many times over the years where it's like, we start with a subscription model, but as soon as that quits paying off, they go free to play, and then within a year or two, they're dead. And like I said, Google's got more money than almost any company in the damn world. I mean, Google's got money to throw at this, but the fact that they're already going free, it tells me that they're thinking about, already winding this shit down. Not in the near future, but I think they're already seeing a 1 or 2 year lifespan on this. And I hate to say it, because I like the idea of innovation, but I'm seeing this as circling the drain at this point. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, you kind of said it right. Nothing's convenient about coronavirus, but it has been convenient, at least, like, if you get outside the health effects of it. I mean, it has been convenient for gamers. Let's be honest. It's giving gamers more time to play games because they've been at home more. So I didn't think you really being inconsiderate. I knew what you meant. We all understand that coronavirus is not it's not convenient. I actually think it's a lot more serious than a lot of other people think that have been around. So, but yeah, it has not been, let's not say it's been helpful for gamers, but let's be honest, it has given gamers more time to play. But here's the thing, so I think timing is good. Yeah, it's probably going to fail, but this is a good time. A lot of people are gaming because a lot of people are staying at home. So I think it's a good time to go with this strategy, but you still don't have that much. You have somewhere around, I think 38 games. I don't know. That's your note. I'm hoping that you actually looked that up before you put it down.
I did read that. So
and then you get 2 months of pro free, where I guess it's I saw that was rotating 9 or 10 games that kind of rotated that you could play for free. So you can get Stadia, and you don't have to actually pay for games right away. You can play 9 to 10 games. I don't know the exact number, but you can play those for free.
Destiny 2 is the big one. There's not much beyond that, though, unfortunately.
That was released 5 years ago or something.
Right, and that tells you what you need to know about fucking Stadia.
That's true, and your devices are still limited, and I believe that it doesn't, when you pay the $130, I believe you get a controller and a Chromecast. I've not looked into it too much, because if it's not negative and it's not Stadia, I don't really read any farther than that. So, but I don't believe you get those things either. So, yeah, you're giving to for free, but you're not giving them the things that come with the $130 plan. Now, I know it's hard to you can't ship. Okay, you cannot do that, because you can, if you say, oh, it's free, and you still get a controller and a Chromecast, everybody who doesn't even game is going to do that. So I do understand.
I'd do it just for the controller at that point.
I've went back against my point. I do understand why they're doing that, but just die, man. Google Stadia, you're not going to survive. I mean, I don't know, but I like it's like a TV drama, man. It's like a soap opera. I do like watching it. I kind of need this in my life. So yeah, I want to go away. I think they just butchered this whole thing. But I kind of like talking negative about it all the time. So, hopefully this gives us a couple more months than we were originally planning on, to where we can just go in and we can bash them.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with having something to ridicule week and okay, it's not every week, it's not every episode, but a lot of our episodes, Stadia has not had great news. So I like having a constant like that we can be like, oh, in other news, Stadia still sucks. So now if people are out there and enjoying it and loving it, more power to you. But enjoy it. But to me, it's just, there's, even at free, you still have to buy the damn games. Now at this point, you don't get the controller, you don't get the Chromecast. There's no value anymore for me. That's we're probably going to continue to bash on it as it continues to circle the drain. But I will say, when you talk about Stadia gaming, you talk about things like that, it does kind of lead itself a little bit into the PC gaming arena, just a little bit. And I know you've been getting into that more and more here the last couple weeks. So give me some thoughts. Give me some updates. I know you initially went through the shock of your system maybe didn't have the specs you were hoping for, but how have you adapted? Let's hear it.
Man, you changed it all for me, because I was so upset. I'm a tech guy, and I was so upset that I couldn't play in 4K. And then you were in a past episode, oh, well, I only play at 1080p. So, that just rejuvenated me. I got all my energy back, because I'd only play an hour, in a week and a half, 2 weeks almost. And then you saying that, thank you, because you saying that got me back into it. And man, I am absolutely loving it. The keyboard and the mouse, still taking a little while to get used to. Man, I'm when you panic in games, the keyboard and the mouse is really, really bad, man. Because on a console, you just have a joystick and stuff and a couple buttons. Man, when I panic on a keyboard, I'm smashing every fucking button there is on that keyboard. And so I've struggled in those arenas a little bit. And then when I'm in combat's a little bit difficult, because you're trying to move. The one thing that I do hate is the I don't know if all games are like this. I'm assuming they're close, but the WASD as your movement sticks.
Most games are, that's pretty universal.
I'm not huge on that part. I would rather have a joystick and to take replace of that, but I'm not going to use a controller, because I think if you're PC gaming, you have to use the keyboard and mouse. that's what's all about. But I have been getting into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I do love that you can use more buttons than you have on a standard controller.
Yes.
I really, really like that. It's cool, just like hitting M and going to map, hitting I for inventory. So absolutely love that.
It makes sense. It makes logical sense.
Yeah, the mouse, I'm kind of getting used to that and everything, and like, moving around, aiming and stuff like that. So I would say the first week or two, I was kind of down. I didn't know if I was going to get into it. You like rejuvenated me with I'm only playing 1080p, which I thought was a little bit disappointing for you, Red. But anyways, I move on. And so I'm kind of back into it. I've been playing a lot of Odyssey. Absolutely love that game. So maybe that gets me into Assassin's Creed, because my first experience wasn't good. It was more the mechanic of like being a future avatar or whatever you call it. But like I can kind of look past things like that because I'm a different gamer. But man, like, yeah, I think this is something PC gaming that I am going to stick with. Just love having a different layout. I'm not gonna play all my games on PC. I'm going to still play some on console, but definitely something that I'm going to stick with. And I heard that there's a rule, and correct me if I'm wrong because I need to explain this to my wife. But I'm pretty sure there's a rule that when you start PC gaming, you have to get a new keyboard and a gaming mouse. Is that correct, Red?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, I thought it was. I don't remember where I heard that rule, but I've heard it from a lot of people that you got to get a new keyboard and you got to get a new mouse. But kind of I'll end on this. We're getting a new house. We're building it right now. And I'm kind of already thinking about my PC setup. Like, I'm probably going to get an L-shaped desk, get some monitor arms to kind of put up. So I'm already thinking like the next level. Probably be a while before I build my computer, but this PC gaming thing, I am getting into it. I do see it continuing into the future, and I think that I am going to really enjoy it.
Well, I just have to laugh because I put over $1,000 into my computer, and I'm sitting here playing a game from fucking 1995.
Yeah.
On that happy note, let's go and wrap things up here a little bit. We're getting to that point of the night, or of the show, I should say. So all the links for everything we talk about here is going to be down in the description. But if you can, jump out on Patreon or PayPal and support us. If you can't, obviously, I know we're living in some crazy times. But at least, give our show a review. Give us a rating on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Even if you hate us, hey, give us 5 stars and we'll love you.
Just smash that 5-star button. That's all you got to do. If you don't think it's that good, just lie, baby. Just lie for us.
Hey, we support it. We lie all the damn time. But you can also check out our couple of websites we've got. We got 2guysplayingzelda.com. We got tgpzgaming.com. They're both like merchandise geared for gaming and Zelda-specific merchandise. We may earn a commission on sales on there. So how about you, Hick, take us home with our social media?
We've got some Facebook groups. You should check those out. We're having a lot of fun on them. Gaming Realm is one of them, and then we also have Zelda Realm. Obviously, that's just Zelda, whereas the gaming one is all of gaming: PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. We got YouTube channels. Our 2 Guys Playing Zelda is a big YouTube channel. We got over 10,000 subscribers on that one. Our TGPC gaming one, a little bit smaller. We basically just put our podcast on there, but you can still check out both of those. We got a Discord server. I actually recently changed it to TGPC Gaming because, it was started as Zelda, but we talk a lot of other gaming on there. So I felt naturally that's where the Discord server was going. So I think it's called TGPC Gaming now. I got to actually look into if it's actually called that now, but it's a little bit different.
The link will be down below anyway.
Yeah, we talk all of gaming, but we also talk a lot of Zelda. So if you're a fan of the franchise, definitely check that out. In social media, we're everywhere. Like we said, we got some Facebook groups. We're also on Twitter, Instagram. We got some Facebook pages. Just search us, Google us, go to the social media websites. You'll find us. But y'all have fun. Keep on gaming. Enjoy your extra time at home. Stay safe. Stay healthy. But, use that extra time to get you some good gaming in. And we'll see you on the next episode.